What's good? Today we'll be going over a recent topic that's been debated around some parts of the Invincible community, and that would be Omni-Man versus Conquest. I'm going to scale both of them individually before comparing their win cons. And without further ado, I'll just get straight to the point now. To start off, let's talk about Conquest, one of the most powerful warriors in the Viltrumite Empire. He's depicted as a bloodthirsty psychopath and thrives on mutual pain. Even among the violent Viltrumites, Conquest is considered unhinged, and even in some cases feared. What makes Conquest so powerful are his on-panel or on-screen feats and statements. When he came to Earth, he informed Mark that he was sent to take control of the planet, and even said that he never failed at doing so, already confirming his status as a high-ranking Viltrumite. He's nearly killed Invincible multiple times. Actually, Conquest could have definitely killed Mark in their first fight, but it is his thirst for extended battle that prevented him from doing so. Even when Mark got a massive power boost, he could only extreme diff Conquest by preventing him from breathing. And without Nolan or Oliver, he would have died along with Conquest. Conquest definitely has some insane durability as well. He is actually one of the few Viltrumites that survived the Scourge virus, and during the time period where he was briefly weakened due to it, he was severely ravaged by the Ragnars on the planet he managed to arrive on. They were definitely ready for his arrival, just not the way he thought. Our old man also tanks absurd punishment mid-fights. Going back to round 1 of Mark's battle with him, Adam Eve blasted Conquest with an energy beam so powerful it burned away a massive amount of his skin and muscle, and it exposed his raw internal structure. Through these conditions, Unk claimed he still had some fight in him as he caught Mark's punch. Even while being choked and being restricted from bringing any new oxygen in his system, he kept fighting for some brief moments. As we know, his speed should be at least relative to Invincible. This should be evident from their battles they've engaged in. Conquest also managed to intercept a coalition of planet ship that is known to be moving at levels of speed where everything's blurry to a half Viltrumite. And as for his battle IQ and skill, Conquest is estimated to be at least twice as old as Omni-Man, as he survived the Great Purge, which was an event that killed billions of Viltrumites and left only the strongest alive. Conquest already looked old at the time, so he must have been thousands of years old before Nolan was even born. And a little comment here, he should also be a master of all Viltrumite martial arts. But thousands of years of combat, and that didn't really help in his final moments, although that can be argued to be like plot-induced stupidity. We will now be taking a look at Nolan Grayson. But before we begin, unlike my scaling with Conquest, I'm not rigidly separating Nolan into categories here, because most of his feats simultaneously demonstrate multiple attributes such as strength, speed, durability, and combat skill, all working together. And as you'll see the feats, you'll understand that these are multi-factor by nature. Like Conquest, he was one of the few Viltrumites trusted to conquer entire planets single-handedly. This would mean that he was a high-ranking Viltrumite warrior until his tenure on Earth changed him for the better. After abandoning his mission and a year of contemplation, Nolan joined the coalition of planets in their struggle to finally end the tyranny of his own people and to redeem himself in front of the eyes of his family. His feats as Omni-Man would include beating the Guardians of the Globe, and these guys aren't small peanuts, alright? Red Rush is a speedster that also has superhuman reflexes. Green Ghost can turn intangible, as in pass through objects and fly. Martian Man, who has extreme elasticity, shapeshifting, regeneration, can also fly. Now for these three, they're called War Woman, Aquarus, and the Immortal. They all have super strength, durability, all that good stuff, except one has a mace, one has water manipulation, and one is immortal. I think you can figure those out. It is pretty self-evident. Oh, and a Batman ripoff. He also launched a devastating assault towards the entire Flaxan civilization. In a matter of minutes, he killed thousands, leveled cities, and killed the leader, which showcases his speed, precision, and discipline as a Viltrumite. Nolan has shown a profound ability to be able to handle multiple high-ranking Viltrumites, being able to pretty much kill them in a singular attack that targets vital areas of the body. Also with the iconic Viltrumite finish attack that he did on Lucan. Nolan also became subject to torture and imprisonment by his own kind, but escapes with the help of Alan and Battle Beast, showcasing his extreme durability once again. And you guys have probably heard this one recently from the animated series. Nolan, Mark, and Thetis flew through the core of planet Viltrum, physically destroying the planet. Though Nolan's feats as Omni-Man aren't as significant as the ones towards the end of the story. He has had multiple instances where he's encountered Thrag. Their first quote-unquote fight he had with Thrag, he was disemboweled instantly, although he did survive. Moving on to their second round, it wasn't the no diff it was before, although the power gap was still decently noticeable. Thrag tracked Nolan, who was on the moon, confronted him about his true ancestry, and impressively, Omni-Man actually landed some okay hits, albeit obviously in the end Thrag would have killed him if it weren't for the interfering Viltrumites. And whew, this Emperor Nolan fit goes crazy hard, definitely in my top 2, if not top 1. Smash like and subscribe if you agree. Their final battle didn't last long. Nolan again only got a few hits in and was complimented by Thrag after receiving a headbutt, stating that he was indeed the most qualified and actually moved at the last second before the finishing blow, though this was cut short. Surprisingly, even after all that, Nolan was still somehow alive, but it wasn't long until he died because of the damages, as part of his heart was still damaged. So, one of the strongest arguments that people use to advocate for Conquest winning this battle is his theme song being named second strongest Viltrumite. The theme of the song was changed afterwards though. So obviously this isn't a reliable narrative statement to use anymore, as the initial name has been scrapped. There's nothing of substance as to suggest that you can use the former name of a theme song to actually scale power within Invincible. There was also a brief struggle between Conquest and Nolan. People tried to say that Nolan was afraid of Conquest and that he got headbutted, along with struggling with the nearly bald Viltrumite. But yet again, the first one is just headcanon, and Conquest was literally monologuing. And about the headbutt, Nolan also headbutted Thrag. This doesn't mean he can beat him whatsoever. You're not going to be able to determine who wins based off of a struggle or based off of a few moments of a fight, which has been consistent with the show. We know that Conquest is physically stronger than Omni-Man. I mean, this was confirmed by Ryan Otley. But Omni-Man is not only faster and has better speed feats, he is more disciplined in his way of fighting. Conquest likes to play with his opponent, especially if it's a weaker opponent. And if we're going to use Ryan Otley's statements, he did think Omni-Man would win. I also definitely think that Emperor Nolan is stronger due to his superior feats. I mean, if you look at this insane durability gap between Conquest and Thrag, you would know that what Omni-Man did during his fights with Thrag is actually much more impressive than one might think. Unless you can prove Conquest consistently performs on the same level against top-tier opponents like Thrag, the argument for him winning relies more on hype and aura moments than on actual scaling. So I think the win generally goes to Omni-Man mid to high diff. That's it for today. See ya.